Widespread rain and significant flooding continue across much of northern and northeastern Australia, with the focus for the next few days shifting to parts of central and southeastern Queensland. Let's jump into the updates now. First, a look at what's driving this wet weather and flooding risk. The monsoon trough continues to lie across those northern parts of the country, with a pair of tropical low pressure systems embedded along that trough. Now, the two lows and the trough itself are helping to draw in moisture, feeding it into showers, storms, and that risk of heavy falls and flooding across these northern areas. And we've certainly seen some very high rainfall numbers through these parts over the last few days, which has fed into our river systems, producing flash flooding and riverine flooding. Looking at our flood warnings current at 11 o'clock Saturday morning Queensland time, we can see how widespread those areas of flooding now are. In the Northern Territory, we've got major flood warnings in place for the Daly River, the Katherine River and the Waterhouse River. Significant community impacts are already underway, so if you live in or near these areas, it's imperative you follow all directions from your local emergency services. Further east, we're starting to see more flood warnings developing along the East Queensland coast as rain continues to fall in those areas in the last couple of days. These come in on top of the long-standing ongoing flood warnings through Western Queensland off the back of rainfall earlier in the year. Now, on top of our flood warning areas, we do still have extensive flood watches in place. They cover much of northern and eastern Queensland. They spill back across parts of the Northern Territory and into the Kimberley in Western Australia. These flood watches tell us where that riverine flooding might develop next. Keeping a close eye on these over the next few days is a really good idea, as we may see these areas extended or upgraded to flood warnings as the rain continues to fall. So exactly how will the rain play out today and over the next few days? We're still going to see our two tropical low pressure systems at play in the rainfall. In the Northern Territory, our tropical low is starting to push towards the coast, taking the heaviest rainfall offshore. We'll still see scattered showers and storms across the top end, particularly through the west, with the risk of locally heavy falls, but the rainfall totals are unlikely to be quite as high as what we've had in previous days. Further east, our low pressure system sitting over northwestern Queensland will continue to draw in significant moisture, feeding into a risk of heavy falls through those areas. We have a severe weather warning for heavy rainfall current for some of those northwestern parts of the state, including around Richmond. The warning flags 6-hourly rainfall totals of 25 to 50 millimetres, possible 6-hourly totals up to 100 millimetres. Now, stretching south from that low pressure system is a trough. The trough is pushing through central parts of the state towards the Wide Bay and Burnett, and it will really help to draw moisture further south through the course of today. We are likely to see rain areas and the risk of heavy falls increasing between Bowen and the Sunshine Coast, as this moisture coming down from the north interacts with southeasterly winds pushing up from the south. In anticipation of that increasing risk of heavy falls through southeastern areas, we have an added area to our severe weather warning for heavy rain. Now, it covers parts of the Maranoa and Warrego, Darling Downs and Granite Belt, Southeast Coast, Wide Bay and Burnett, and the Central Highlands and Coalfields. It flags 6-hourly rainfall totals of 30 to 55 millimetres, isolated 6-hourly falls up to 90 millimetres or so. That could start developing from later tonight, but it's more likely to develop through the day tomorrow. As we move through Sunday, we're likely to see that rain really being reinforced through many of those central and southeastern areas, as this trough continues to bring the moisture down. We'll continue to see the heavy falls mostly around the Wide Bay area and areas further north, with the potential for a couple of low pressure centres enhancing that rainfall even further. As we move into the early part of Tuesday, we're likely to see these areas of low pressure moving offshore, taking the heaviest rain with it, leaving us with more scattered showers along the coast. But it's still going to be a very wet period between Sunday and Monday. So how much rain can we expect? Looking at our rainfall totals from midnight last night all the way out to Tuesday morning, we can see a broad swathe of moderate to heavy falls, stretching from the northwestern parts of the state through those central areas and down towards the Wide Bay and Burnett area. Now, we're most likely going to see those heavy falls to areas north of Brisbane, pushing up towards the Sunshine Coast and Wide Bay and Burnett. For Brisbane, while we're not in the hotspot for those heavy falls, it can't be ruled out entirely. So we advise communities throughout these areas to prepare for that potential risk of heavy falls over the next few days. We'll continue to update and issue warnings as needed, and you can always find the latest via the Bureau's website and the Bomb Weather app. Stay safe, and we'll catch you next time.